Any thoughts? How much time will the jungle music will stay afloat in Russia, particularly in Afro? Your next visit.
I hope so, yeah. Every year I would love to come here, especially now that I was just in Siberia. I just finished up some pretty large jungle shows. So I think that the question is about jungle music in general, if it stays afloat. I think that there's always going to be a niche for jungle because the dubstep has taken over and all these other offshoots, but there's still so many people in one little corner that are making jungle. So it might get smaller, it might become less parties, but I think there's always somebody who wants to hear jungle.
Okay. So, how much cities were in this tour?
I was just in Novosibirsk, Krasnoyarsk, and Varna.
How do you think how the jungle music is tied to your opinion?
Yeah, I guess it's sort of expanding upon the first question. I think it is tired in a way because it's been around now for so long that it's hard to make something sound new. So I guess what I always tried to do was make it with the strength of drum and bass music, but use the elements of jungle. And to me, I feel like there's always going to be to add more new elements into it, like maybe live instruments or some more drum and bass fusion, because the drum and bass people are also trying to grab from jungle. So from what it looks like to me is that jungle is always going to be alive because it's a soul of this drum and bass and this electronic music events. So I don't think it's getting tired. I think maybe we just need to try maybe even recycling some older ideas. Like the samba bass is still big. Everybody, I was driving for some hours today and people were listening to samba bass, like it's samba drum and bass. So I feel like it's always going to be around. I don't think it's tired.
Maybe this music are losing the popularity because without a difference in this sound.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest problems is a lot of people say is that jungle music, as opposed to drum and bass, has less quality and that there's too much crap out there, basically. And I can definitely see from a professional drum and bass, a big name drum and bass producer listens to some of these SoundCloud accounts, and it just sounds like garbage. They take a really low quality reggae song and they put a few amens over it. And so, of course, that's the biggest problem I think we have in our jungle music. That's what's making it tired. But the people that are pushing it with making their own melodies and trying to learn how to layer it with some real instruments and then putting the jungle elements in, I think this is where I'm inspired when I hear producers do this.
So, what's the whole plans for Kilo Records as a project? Any thoughts for the future?
Yeah, like I said before, that it was always sort of my sound was to take the jungle and make it with the strength of drum and bass. So it sounds almost like drum and bass. So you have people that like drum and bass that listen to my music, but it's using the soul of jungle with the amen music. So for Kilo Records, it's always been what I wanted to do. I wanted to stay as far away from the reggae remixes with amens on top of it, low quality amens, like I was saying. And I wanted to try and add this aggressive techie bass lines to it and stuff like that. So it's more like a drum and bass roller like Tech Itch or these, I can't think of somebody off the top of my head, but people who are using amens in their drum and bass production. So for the future I want to continue doing that. I just made a promo mix for this tour and it's all my production or my label that's that type of stuff. There's a lot of producers out there. Actually I shouldn't say there's a lot, there's a few producers out there making music like me and I want to try and promote them as well.
And what's about the progress in other styles of music? Because I know you have a few good grind tracks.
Grime tracks?
Yeah.
I made a couple of grime tracks, yeah. I liked grime because it had the same sort of strength. Yeah, and recently I've been listening to a lot of soca and the Moomba core stuff blended with soca, and this has got this crazy energy that doesn't, I don't know, dubstep sometimes can be a little too boring, a little too dubby for me. A little too laid back, but this Moomba core with the soca stuff, I really like that. That's the new style that I really like. But the electro and the minimal techno that you hear everywhere, it's not catching my my interest. But I know it's very popular, but so far it's more the soca and Moomba core thing.
You are now based in Germany, right?
Yeah.
So what's the situation in Germany with jungle?
Yeah, well, it's a big country, and where I am is in the east of Germany, and I'm living in Leipzig, which is an incredible capital city for jungle music, because a lot of the people, they just accept jungle like it's a great music and it's not segregated. There's no sort of prejudices against jungle music, and I'm able to press my records right in my city, and the person who mastered my record is just across the studios across the street from me, and the pressing plant's just down the street. I can ride my bike there, and the parties every weekend, almost every weekend, I'd say there's something going on where you'll hear a jungle song. Yeah, it's not necessarily a jungle night, but when you play jungle, people on the dance floor love it. So
Looks like not so bad.
yeah, and then near me in Chemnitz, DIS is doing a jungle monthly kilohertz, and then in Dresden, Mighty Melodies started up the or Seance de Del started up Blackboard Massive Parties, which is Ragged Jungle, and these are all Eastern Germany cities. And in the West, there is some pockets here and there, but it's nothing like what we've got going in our 3 cities that I know for sure.
That's right. Do the Russia change from time to time when you...
As I get used to it, yeah, I mean, there was something special about the first time I came here, and everything was like a wow factor of the Red Square and seeing Cyrillic characters everywhere. But it's sort of like now it's become, I don't know. I don't want to say that it's really changed, because it's still exciting to be here and so different, but it feels more like home. It feels like my backyard now. So getting the visa and everything is starting to become a routine now. And then I come here and I know the people. And after the first time meeting someone, and I see them again, and now I see you so many times.
It's a great honor.
Yeah, it's like I get to come and visit my friends. So yeah, as far as Russia, I don't think it's changed. I became more comfortable.
Yeah,
definitely.
looks like they're growing.
Yeah.
Okay, what can you say about the Russians or no? About the young people who visit your events, about promoters and just people from streets? Be honest.
Okay, well, these are 2 different things, I guess. The people who visit the shows, the parties, they're some of the most appreciative party people I've ever run into. Whereas if I go to a party back home, or I say like back home in Germany, the people love the music, but they're there for the party and they're there to dance, and then they go home. But the people here, it's like they've been waiting so long. I hear the words "thank you," can I invite you for a vodka? Can I give you? Sometimes people come up with a present. They say, you know, I drove all the way when I was here a few years ago. Somebody from Samara gave me a little gift from Samara and said, we drove here to see you, and your music, I listened to it when I was growing up, and it's really, it feels like a very appreciative party music.
Okay. I don't remember what was I asking for that earlier. How does it sound, the Russian language from the side?
From the sound?
Yeah. Always wondering about this, probably understand why. So what it sounds like a language? Like French, Italian, like...
Yeah, I mean, the Russian language is very, it's very harsh, it's very hard, and I guess you're used to English people saying that because it sounds like there's a lot of kaka sounds and like I don't know, maybe that's a word. But
sounds
these are these sounds that, yeah, I'm not sure what it means, but there's a lot of other harsher languages out there that sound even harder for me to listen to. But the more and more I get used to Russian, I'm starting to pick up words that almost sound like German, or I wouldn't say French, but even there's some English that you throw in here. So I don't know if I'm just getting used to it, but it's not as harsh as it used to sound to me now.
Okay. Tell us about Russian women. And you see those who are not trying to catch your feeling.
Yeah, well, okay, I'll say that the Russian women all look their best all the time. They're all dressed super well, like with perfect makeup, perfect hair, perfect everything. As far as people trying to catch me, I find this Russian tradition. It seems like at the end of a party, there's always one girl, or it's even sometimes a guy too, and they don't want to let me go. One more drink, come with me here and there. So I mean, yeah, there's a really funny culture. But you also have, this is something that I really like, is the alternative people. Like I'm just talking people in general, the girls in general that I see on the street. But you also have good alternative people, and this is more my crowd, the underground people, people dancing around with dreads, and people wearing, you know, baggy pants or bright colors and stuff like that. These are the type of people that I really find interesting. And at the jungle parties, they come, I don't know where they are in the streets, but then at the jungle parties I see them all come together, and so you do have this in the Russian massive, and these are the people that I'm really interested in because they're really unique people.
What do you think about the fact that this time he wasn't invited by Moscow in saying
Yeah, I'm very sad, but it's understandable, whatever. I mean, you're the promoter, and I'm the DJ, so I'm not going to make the party, I'm not going to force the promoter to make the party. But it makes me very sad, but I'm also very happy I had some hours and I could come here today. But I really hope that it will be possible in the future because the Moscow and St. Petersburg parties were huge. And I get emails all the time from these two cities, so I really, really hope it's possible again in the future and that your jungle scene thrives.
Okay. Can you imagine that you have a son right now, around 5 years old, how he will be? Will you try to introduce him in your passion, in jungle music?
Yeah, I mean, jungle is not the only thing that I'm interested in, so anything that I have a passion for, like jungle, I would show it to my son, but I would never...
Try to know his interests.
No, I'm never going to force anybody to do that. I would love to show what I'm interested in, what's a joy to me, and if they find that it's also a joy, then that's great, and if they find something else, I'm also interested in seeing what they would enjoy doing. Maybe they pick something up on themselves, or maybe they become a techno or electro fan. That's cool if that's what they like. I'm really interested more in how their mind loves something. I'm more interested in the passion itself than forcing people into one thing that I like.
It looks like I'm happy to see you.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here too.
This was the DJK, one of the greatest jungle producers in the world.
Oh,
Yeah.
June.